not even 8:30 yet on Sunday. I haven't gotten out of my pajamas because I've been working since 10 o'clock this morning. I was doing my history discussion. I got that done. Did another thing for history that was just like almost like ridiculous and offensive to my intelligence. And I just did my discussion for history, like with Sophia, that I needed to like just type up. And then I've gotten most of my report done. I'm just frantic because we still have so much. I'm nervous, and I'm just like, oh my god, I haven't edited things. Well, I've edited our appendices and fixed them up and cleaned them up, and I just need to finish reading through stuff, added things. I did a whole new manufacturing plan, and like proved it out and showed it, and it was kind of funny. I could use one of my other like lab reports to like illustrate where we got some of our data from. And sorry for that noise, it's my tea. But yeah, let's see how long. I've been on the Skype call since 1 o'clock. I'm not on it right now. I still have it going because I'm like, I want to see how long it goes. God, I'm just like, frantic. Just doing a check-in right now because it's crazy late. It is 1:30 almost. So yeah, I've been working on it for a very long time. I don't feel super confident about my executive summary, but I'll probably fix it in the morning. But God, I'm just so hyper. Another time of almost forgetting to do a check-in. It is almost 1 o'clock, or actually is 1 o'clock on May 5th, so Cinco de Mayo. But this is for Monday. It was my last day of college, and I went to class. I turned in my reports, which was crazy. I did I changed into different clothing. Don't worry. I know I've been in the same thing since yesterday. But besides that, turned in my exam. I feel like I did really poorly on it, which means I can do the extra credit, and I need to work on that a bit. But like I've done decent on all my other homework, so like one bad exam will be fine, and they'll be pretty lenient. Besides that, it's just weird to think that college is pretty much done. I just need to turn in a paper, do that extra credit, and I'm done. But I don't know what I'm doing next, which is the scariest part. Because I really don't know. I've thought about it, but I never thought about the reality of it. And it doesn't feel real because of this quarantine, like not having been in classes, like maybe that's one of those things that is a weird thing that we have lost, is the transition. There was easy ways to point out the transition, but now it's all one muddy thing. But yeah, no, today I went to my burger. I need to work out a little more. Like, I'm getting chubby. I need to eat healthier too. And eat, not just drink alcohol. I don't just drink it. I just had like half a thing of Chardonnay because like I was celebrating because I finished. And now I have a slight headache already. Yeah. Oh wait, I forgot to also mention, to like double check in kind of thing. I watched all 3 episodes of Criminal UK, and oh my gosh, it's good. I'm gonna have to watch the other like countries as well because those were great. I was just like, it's David Tennant, I'll watch it. And then it had Haley Atwell. I was like, oh my gosh, I want more episodes. But no, and they made it all like cliffhangery and whatnot with the 2 main detectives. They're like cops or interrogators. The one dude was asking the boss, not boss, but like official, the head person, like out on a date, and it was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna hear it. But then the other person turned off the audio. Just like it wasn't even like the movie, like not movie, the show was like all about the like romantic subplots. Like it was mostly like, hey, here is these interrogations. But then there was like a subtle like ongoing like subplot, like minor like love interest subplot that just kind of bookended the episodes. I was just like, yes, but they didn't tell us, and I was like, no. So it is past midnight on just past Cinco de Mayo. This was an interesting day. So I didn't actually wake up until about 10:30 because I'm like, you know what, let's let like my body sleep, catch up on things, like just catch up on any sleep that I have. And so that was kind of fun. And so I didn't wake up until 10:30, didn't get out of bed until almost like 11. But you know what, my body needed it, it needed it. And then my friend and I went on a walk to what's called Witch Hat Tower. It's a water tower in Minneapolis. And so that was like a lot of fun. It was also good to see him. I gave him one of my face masks because I'm like, you know what? Instead of you having to use your like wool balaclava, here's a like cotton one that has like some surgical like interfacing or whatever on it. I don't know what my mom uses for the interfacing on it. Besides that, we were gonna get tacos, but then Grubhub, a LA restaurant, like canceled their order or like order 20 minutes in because they had too many. It's like, no, you close ordering and then you like, but you observe the orders that you have. But no, so we ended up ordering from Buffalo Wild Wings and walking over, which Aaliyah wasn't like super happy about because she was hungry, but it was like, you know what, like, let's walk, let's like just kind of have this fun time outside. Poor Sophia didn't get any because she was like, yeah, I'll go get with the Mexican food with you guys, but then like when our order got canceled, she's like, I'm just gonna make food for myself, and then we all just had buffalo wings. And it was good. It was really good food. And then we watched Coco, which, oh, the ending gets me every time. I'm just like, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. And then after that, we finished off a whole thing of it, like that jug thing. I'll pull up a photo right here of the margarita mix. And like, so I had finished off like the wine I'd had from like last night. It's only about like just a little bit more than 2 glasses of wine. And like I had those before we left, and I was drinking water, and then I had like 3 or 4 margaritas, like, but it was the same size as like a glass, so it was like only 5 ounces, 6 ounces maybe, so it wasn't like a lot. It just made me feel gross, like not feel gross, but like mentally feel gross that I was drinking so much, but like not actually bodily feel gross. Like it was just mentally feeling gross of like the actual number, but it wasn't like horrible. And I guess I'm just like justifying all this, but I'm kind of, I need to cut back on my alcohol. And like I didn't drink a lot in most of these. My comment is I usually would have like a beer or something at night if I was like cooking or doing other things. These past couple of days have been more celebration wise, and I'm just like party and wanting to drink more because in some ways I felt like I've been so constricted for the past couple of years and having to be the responsible one, that now that I don't have, I mean I still should be doing that, but like I don't want to be that responsible person anymore. I want to just enjoy life. But yeah, but then I feel guilty because I'm older and I understand what alcoholism is. So it's all kind of up in the air. I was also a little annoyed at Aaliyah because she sits there on her high horse some days, judging other people. But yeah, they just now sent out an email extending the travel ban for university faculty to June 31st, which I'm honestly kind of surprised it took them this long to announce that the travel had been extended further, because previously they were like, no, it's only gonna be like, it was gonna be May 31st, which had been my like, I knew it was gonna change, but like my moving target on it. And I'd been pretty vocal about how surprised I was that they hadn't announced any differences for a long time. And when they finally did this like today, and so it's like, you know what, like if the fact it took a couple of weeks, like a little bit longer to announce it, like that they were going to extend it another month, is not bad at all. Like that's compared to only like 2-3 weeks after like the first time. This was months after. This was over a month after. And Aaliyah was probably like super smug, like, oh yeah, Obi's like thing didn't work. I'm like, but you know what? I knew it was a changing target. The fact that it didn't change for so long, that's actually pretty good. Like, it's been a pretty good day. But yeah, Leah's been was kind of on her high horse, and I'm like, just shut up. Just shut up. So it's a midday check-in kind of thing. It's a little past like 1:30, I think. I'm actually at the Minneapolis Sculpture Gardens, which is kind of cool. I was here earlier this week with Evan, or really on Saturday, I think it was, yeah. And I walked all the way over here, so that was about a like 3.5 mile walk, which I feel pretty good about, because I realized I am having a lot of unhealthy habits that I need to start like working out more, just being more active, as well as eating better and like reducing my sodium. And yeah, but I had a weird thought earlier today, because the fact that because my parents aren't here and I'm not really going to be graduating per se, my mom always said when my dad had his like heart issue initially that like, I don't know if he's going to make it to your graduation, and I mean, he kind of isn't, but he's better, and it's just a whole weird emotion that I hadn't thought about until very recently. So it is the end of Wednesday. I did my like discussion post for history because we still kind of have that going on. Like, I don't know, I need to write my paper. That'll probably be tomorrow's goal, along with making like dessert for Sophia, because I didn't even realize she was having her ceremony on Friday as well. So I want to do something because hers is before mine, because she's been super supportive of me, and I want to do that to her too. So like you saw, I walked over to the sculpture garden this afternoon, and that's like a 3.5 mile walk. So I got in a lot of steps because, like I mentioned a little bit, I kind of want to do workout, like do activities and healthy stuff more, because I have time to really focus also not just on my mental health, but on my physical health, and not just try to like survive school. And I had a weird breakdown earlier, not like full breakdown, but it's just weird, and I need to call home because 2.5 years ago, when my dad had, I guess it was maybe a heart failure, I don't totally know, I wasn't there for it, but he was hospitalized, and it was really scary, and that's when my family got put on the low sodium diet, and that's why my dad has a heart condition that I've mentioned a couple of times. Well, one of the things my mother had said, kind of callously, was that she's like, I don't think your father's going to make it to your graduation. She was trying to be realistic, but to a 19-year-old who has never had to worry about, like, I mean, I've worried about my parents' health, but like, it was scary. I was 2,000 miles away. I was 19. I didn't know what the heck was going on. So it was just a lot. And that was like more than I'd ever be able to handle. Or not ever be able to handle, but it was a lot for me to deal with. And so the idea of like him being at my graduation was like a huge thing. And that had been the same thing with my sister's wedding, is initially we didn't know if he was going to make it to the wedding, and he did, and no, he made it to my graduation, but he can't make it to my graduation because it's canceled. And it's such a weird thing I didn't even think about that was like hitting me, and I'm about to get all teary-eyed and everything, because it's, my dad's health is kind of one of those things that I'm kind of touchy about, because it messed with me a lot, and a lot of people, my mother and sisters were like, why are you freaking out so much just while we're in trouble? And I'm like, this is not something most kids, or I mean probably more kids than I think realize, and like, but that was just a lot, and it's not something a lot of my friends had to deal with. One of my good friends, her father now has developed an issue, and surprisingly I'm one of those people that can actually really sympathize and understand, and like look at her and I'm like, this was my experience. And actually she already knew my experience because she was with me through every step of the way with my dad's health. So it's like, out of everybody, I can sympathize with her a lot on the whole situation. So it is 10:30 on Thursday night. I have started my history paper. Have I gotten much of it done? No, but I'm almost like half a page already, and it has to be 4 to 6 pages, double space, so it's not hard at all. I can kind of just like type tomorrow morning. I also need to bake Sophia's cupcakes. They're going to be lemon cupcakes, and I'm really excited. Besides that, Maggie and I walked all the way to Nicollet Mall, Target. So those who live in Minneapolis kind of know. I went from campus to Nicollet Mall, which is, I think, so East Bank to West Bank to US Bank Stadium to Government Plaza to Nicollet. I think that's 4 stops on the light rail, so that's a pretty long walk. And then we walked to Trader Joe's, and we walked back, and we did it across Stone Arch. Because I'm actually trying to work on being, like I mentioned, being healthier. And one of my goals is to do average 10,000 steps on my phone a day. So that's including anything that gets converted for the workouts. And it's just like on average for like a month. So I feel like that's a good way to look about it. And I've already made up a lot of the past 2 days for the fact that like I didn't leave my desk on whatchamacallit, what day? When Sunday, when doing the paper, because like that was intense. So try to get better. Next week is going to be more focusing on cooking. I'm going to talk to Aaliyah to see if she, like, I like cooking, but I need to cook for somebody else to be creative. So I was going to say, hey, if you help me buy groceries, we can cook together. I'll start meal planning out and making a calendar and figuring out so we can do that. So both of us can work on being really healthy this summer. So I had my commencement today. I am a graduate, theoretically. I still need to turn in my paper for history, but that's a different issue. I did more of it today. Not much, but I did more, and I can crank it out in a couple of hours tomorrow in between stuff. I've got brunches with both families tomorrow also. My mom's earlier in the day because they're more on the eastern seaboard, and then my dad's family on the other for the second hour. So I'm pretty pumped about that. I'm excited to talk with people. It's been all sorts of emotions. I've cried today, but that was much later when my parents sent me this photo. I'll blur out their faces because I don't know if they'd want to be on here. But it was just a lot because I miss them, and it was all sorts of emotions. Like, graduation already gets people really emotional, but the fact that I didn't walk, and Evan gets all upset about that. Like, it's just what, but I was like, I think it's a whole situation and the whole idea that it really says, like, yes, this is the done moment, and the fact that it was the whole idea of graduation, that was the big thing that was, like, I was looking forward to with family. You know, I ramble on about this all the time, but it's just so prevalent. Like, that was the idea that it got you through. It got me through some rough times. Like, I'm almost there, and now it's very bleak. Yeah, we had 2 very different ceremonies because Sophia had hers today also. And hers was a much more like normal Zoom class sort of thing, which is kind of fun because it was much more personable. Mine was held by, I guess, actually the Alumni Association, theoretically. We had even a commencement speaker, kind of. I didn't really listen much, but the guy that created the Impossible Burger is a chemical engineer alumni for University of Minnesota, so he's one of our boys, and that was kind of fun to have him there. He recorded a speech, and having my boyfriend and his sister was there. Heidi, who's Sophia's girlfriend, was here. But everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, you guys can't have this huge group. This is like the largest we've had since the only time we've had it larger was before the stay-at-home orders were put into place. And like, Maggie practically lives here. She's over like every day because, yeah. Heidi's over very frequently. Evan and Julia were kind of the weird ones, but also we're kind of, it's the Sunrise plan is starting, so it's not really justifying, but it was able to be. We were able to still maintain distancing, kind of like Julia and Evan. Like I was close to Evan, but Julia still kind of stayed away because I didn't want to get her. I've kind of maintained a very like distant sort of thing from a lot of people. I don't get close to Heidi. I honestly don't get close to Aaliyah, which I feel horrible. There's been only a few occasions when she's been really struggling that I've gotten close. Heck, with Sophia and Maggie, it's still very like not close. I mean, today Sophia and I were hugging a lot because Sophia was. I met her the first day I moved into college, and we were next door neighbors, and then we now graduated together, kind of. So that was crazy. And then with I wish I could have walked with Emily because I met her my first day of college, but that didn't happen. It's just so much, and I guess you can. The professors were talking about just how we still took it on full steam ahead after all of this. I mean, we all kind of checked out in some way, but that could have generally been associated with senioritis, but we still were like, okay, we got to get stuff done. We didn't back down from challenges, which was, they were impressed with. And I mean, I'm still in awe of our professors on what they did. They were able to be level-headed during this whole situation, and that's crazy. And I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for my family. And my mom had this whole thing where she had a bunch of people toast to me at back home, and that was great. Yeah. I'm gonna tear up again. I don't even know what kind of tears they are, I guess. They're tears of sadness because something that's been going on for 4 years just stopped. I'm an alum. I don't even know. And it's a weird thing to think about. And I don't know why. I probably would have been crying anyway if it hadn't been for this. Sometimes I wish I was home. And I wish I could just hug my family, my parents. Other times I know I would go insane. And I think also this just shows how uncertain I am about my future. Because of how much things have changed, and it's just insane. And we don't know what's going on still. Things are looking better. We're starting to face things, but it's a slow process. We're definitely going to be one of those classes that, who knows, maybe we get mentioned in stories later on. Professors will talk about the class of 2020. The class who still succeeded despite COVID. Like, that'll be interesting to see. I don't know. My life is crazy and there's so much up in the air. I can't wait. I don't know what's going to be happening. I just need to make it through this weekend and get my GRE done. Hopefully this time it works. After that, it'll be a lot of applications and planning Maggie and Aaliyah's birthdays, which I am excited for. It gives me some purpose. Also, I need to do my taxes. I don't know. Life is crazy and weird. So it is the end of Saturday, or there's still some time left. It's not even 10 o'clock. But it's been a really quiet day. I had 2 Zoom calls with the 2 sides of my family to celebrate my graduation. It was really nice. It was the first time I saw one of my uncles since his son's wedding. I'd seen the rest of the family a lot because we do Thanksgiving every year. My aunt on that side, or one of my aunts on that side, is like Thanksgiving is your thing. Like, you do Thanksgiving. That was the thing. But it was good to see them, talk with them. I think honestly it's the first time for them to seeing my dad in. Oh no, wait, scratch that. They'd seen him at my sister's wedding. Never mind. I was gonna be like, I think it's the last time since a really depressing incident. But never mind, it was not that. But then also we had the Skype call with my dad's side of the family, which was super exciting. I got to see my grandparents. I'd seen them over Christmas, or right after Christmas. I'd gone up to Wyoming, which is where they are, and visited them. And my aunt, who works at the ICU and one of the ICUs in Wyoming, was like, yeah, no, we have all this protective gear. And I'm like, really? Or is we don't have much? Oh my god. But I got to see them, talk with them. Also, one of my cousins on that side, his wife had a baby 2 days ago, like brand spanking new baby, and they were coming home from the hospital, and they had stopped in at my aunt's house there, like my cousin's mother, and we got to see her on the Zoom call, and she was adorable. And for my aunt, it is her first granddaughter. She has one of my other cousins has her daughter has 3 boys, so I know it's really long and confusing, but I've got a decently large family. My dad is one of 4, and my mom is one of 3, and I've got 6 cousins on my dad's side and 6 cousins on my mom's side. And then of my cousins on my dad's side, they have kids. There's 8 of them now. Sorry, I had to think that through. It's a lot. And then I kind of accidentally let it slip what my dad said about my boyfriend. My mom's side kind of knew more. But no, it was all fun. I turned in my history paper. It was kind of crazy. When I was reading one of the articles, like I was finding some newspaper articles from the time just to get some opinions on things. I found one that had my mother interviewed in it, because the paper is about women in the military and why we should be talking about that in history class. And I was discussing when they started to allow women into the into ROTC programs, and I was able to find one from the New York Times in 1972, and it had my mother interviewed in it. I didn't know she was interviewed in it until I read it. I was like, they were talking about our college, and I was like, maybe I'll text her and ask her like if she knew these people, and then I read her name in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's my mother. So that was crazy. Yeah, so besides that, I got 2 of my grades back. My senior design was a B, like straight B. Composites, just straight A. So let's see what the rest of the classes are. It'll be interesting. And I don't really know what else to talk about. I just have to prep and get my computer ready for taking the GRE tomorrow. Hopefully I can do that. If not, I'm going to have to postpone it again, and I don't like that, but I'll just do the rest of the GRE. I'll just do everything else I need to for grad school and applying for jobs. So we'll see.